A day for honoring heroes. Good evening, everyone. I'm Donna Fiducia. At the Johnson Space Center today, a bell tolled for each of Columbia's 7 lost astronauts. The astronauts' families, friends, and others honored the crew at a memorial service outside Houston. President Bush told them the nation shares their sorrow and their pride. Meanwhile, pieces of the shuttle Columbia's fuselage, landing gear, and a circuit board were found in East Texas today. The debris fell in the same area as the shuttle's nose cone found yesterday. NASA is also checking out reports of debris found as far away as California and Arizona. And stocks slumping today. War jitters sending the Dow down 96 points to close at 8013. And technology bellwether Cisco lost 2%, contributing to the Nasdaq's 17-point drop. It closed at 1306. And an attorney for LeBron James is asking court to allow the high school basketball superstar to return to the court. James was ruled ineligible for allegedly accepting gifts of clothing from a Cleveland store. The 6'8" teen is expected to be the NBA's #1 draft pick. And we'll see you in about 30 minutes with an update. I'm Donna Fiducia. The O'Reilly Factor is next right here on the Fox News Channel.
Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thank you for watching us tonight. How best to handle the shuttle story? That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Some Factor viewers were angry with me over last night's report where we asked NASA to explain why it fired 5 members of its safety board last June after they had raised serious issues about shuttle safety with NASA administrators. Sandra Miller from Monument, Colorado opined, O'Reilly, you are the media's ambulance chaser. And Dr. Gregory Lord, who lives in Leesville, Louisiana, wrote, O'Reilly, NASA needs not a pinhead like you trying to tell them what to do. Less than halfway through your nonsense, I changed the channel to CNN. And what you saw there, Doctor, were segments full of speculation, which we do not do here. The information we presented is true. 5 safety experts were fired, and a 3-star admiral quit the board in protest. Also, former NASA boss Dan Golden would not come to the phone to explain what happened. Those are facts. Now, the question is, should we have reported this story 60 hours after the disaster? Was I insensitive to the nation's grief? Now, you have to make that call. But I'll tell you my thought process. For 2.5 days, the TV media had covered the tragedy wall to wall. Some print reporters had documented the problems with NASA's bureaucracy, so naturally we had questions that were not being answered. If you give the principals time in any controversy, they will develop a spin to hide the truth, so it's imperative to break the story quickly. It's also my job to tell you what's going on, not to hold back anything. When we reached former NASA Chief Golden's wife on the phone, she spoke for him. He wouldn't contact us. All kinds of bells and whistles then went off. The fired members of the safety board were grieving as well, yet they explained the problems that may have led to this disaster. Golden was hiding, and he remains hiding. Sensibilities are an interesting thing. We first broke the story on the radio factor, and few callers objected. But TV viewers were more critical. The mail ran about 50-50 as to whether we were right in covering the safety controversy. Viewers like Travis Hartsock, who lives in Denver, summed up the pro point of view. Bill, I just wanted to thank you for the superb research the Factor did on the NASA safety situation. Your reporting sets you apart from all the other networks. Well, I will see, though, that sometimes hard news intrudes on grief. And I respect that point of view. This is a very interesting issue, and if you'd like to weigh in on it, dial up BillO'Reilly.com. For now, Talking Points is accepting criticism and evaluating it. We'll read more of your letters at the end of the broadcast. And that's a memo. Now for the top story tonight. President Bush and the nation pay respects to the 7 astronauts in a Houston memorial service today. Neil Armstrong and John Glenn attended, as well as dignitaries from all walks of life. Obviously, a very sad and very moving tribute. Joining us now from Houston is Dr. June Scobie Rogers. His husband, Dick, was killed in the '86 Challenger disaster. He was the commander of that mission. And also from Houston, Pastor Steve Riegel, who has been counseling some of the astronauts' families in this present disaster. Both the pastor and the doctor attended the memorial service today. Doctor, we'll begin with you. Is this all about coping mechanisms now for the family?
I think that everyone is at a different stage in the grieving process, no matter whether they've all shared in the same kind of tragedy. that these families have shared in. Yes, taking each day as it comes, trying not to look too far in the future, but managing. And some are at better stages than others, as we all are, but they have deep abiding faith, and I love seeing that strong bond and that relationship.
How long did it take you? Because, you know, I've experienced this sudden death, you know, to a friend of mine. And how long did it take you to be able to think clearly about the situation?
It took me much longer than it's taking these courageous Columbia families. It was days before I could even get my footing and have conversations. And I was a professor at a university, and it took even longer for me to get back into the classroom and prepare lessons for my students. Suffering along with me were my own children, and I would like to say that I was a mother that was able to manage for them, but in some days, some instances, my children were stronger than I was. So how long does it take? Years. There you have bumpy roads, hills and valleys, and some days you feel alert and that you can manage, and there are other days where it takes a lot of effort to just put one foot on the floor as you step out of the bed, and then have that other foot follow and move out.
Okay.
And try to accomplish something each day.
Pastor, when you counsel people, you know, as June pointed out, everybody's different. Everybody reacts differently to tragedy. Do you have to read those differences in order to counsel?
I think if you're going to counsel adequately, you do. And in fact, I just came from having June's conversation with Sandy Anderson. And I said to her, you know, the thing, you can pick all kinds of books on these subjects, and obviously there are similarities and with everyone's pathway, but to crowd everyone into the same mold, it just doesn't work. People do respond differently, and they do progress at different stages.
Do you seek people out, Pastor, or do you wait for them to come to you?
I think it depends on your relationship with them.
You know, in this case, you had a relationship with two of the families, very close relationship. They were members of your congregation, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And what did you do?
Well, when I heard about the Columbia tragedy, I was in Guatemala ministering, and so I immediately headed for the airport, and I got back into Houston a couple of hours after the families were home. Becky and I, my wife, we went first to Evelyn Husband's home and walked in. I put my arms around Evelyn and just said some things to her, and she said them to me. And after we stayed a while, we went to Sandy Anderson's home and did virtually the same thing there with them.
Do you emphasize God in these situations, Pastor?
Well, I didn't have to emphasize God to them. They emphasized God to me.
But generally, is that a comforting tool?
Oh, absolutely. In terms of what I do, I think there are other people would think they would have different approaches, but obviously coming from where I'm coming from, I believe that faith in God is critical in moving through the tragedies.
Okay. Now, June, do you ever look at the practical side of what happened to your husband and what's happened now to these 7 brave people in the Challenger? Do you ever say to yourself, I want to get involved with the safety of it or the mechanics of it, or do you just keep it on the spiritual plane?
After the Challenger accident, when the world knew how they died, all the families came together in my home to say, we want the world to know how they lived, the lives that they lived, and what they were willing to risk their lives for, and the beauty of space exploration. Because there was a teacher on board, Krista McAuliffe, the beloved school teacher with children waiting around the world for lessons, we, to a person, the families, decided to continue that Challenger mission by creating opportunities for children to fly simulated space missions so they could enjoy space flight. We said we would bring the space frontier to Earth for these children.
All right, so you concentrated on the positive aspects, which is really the way to do it, I think. June, Pastor, thanks very much. We appreciate it, sharing your insights with us today. Next on the rundown, will al-Qaeda attack? Some experts say yes, and soon. We'll be right back with that report.
Talking Points is brought to you by GM, the car company in overdrive.
Very funny.
What?
For that long road to maturity, we'll be there.
To go deep undercover, your words better be smooth.
We showed you what we got. We in and we out.
Your luck better be right. And your partner better be close.
He's a cop. I want his head.
Everybody get down on the ground now!
I'm gonna kill you, man.
I really hate these guys. I really hate your driving.
What's the matter with you?
Got beat up by a girl.
From the director of Charlie's Angels. Fast Lane, all new this week on Fox.
IBM Security, real people, not actors.
Excuse me, sir, you ever worry somebody might steal the information on your computer?
There are things I have on my computer I would rather people didn't know about, financial things.
Customer data.
Credit card numbers.
Definitely concerned about hackers. You can get your computer with a security chip. It's like a lock for all of your password locks.
Would that be something your clients would really like?
Something that we would like. 500,000 desktops and notebooks were stolen last year. Suppose somebody stole this.
You can't even joke around like that. There's so much information.
It would be devastating.
It has software you can order that can help get your computer back if it's stolen.
If your computer ever gets stolen, it can be tracked.
I've never heard of that.
The secrets of your clients are critical. I don't know that you can really put a price on it.
IBM can build security right into your computer. This NetVista desktop has an embedded security chip. It's just $729 and has an Intel Pentium 4 processor designed to run today's apps and tomorrow's. Buy yours with the Intel Pentium 4 processor now and ask for this free fingerprint USB hub to help give you more security.
The more security you can put on it, the more valuable it is to us.
In the Impact segment tonight, Chief UN Weapons Inspector Hans Blix held a news conference today warning Iraq it is, quote, 5 minutes to midnight, unquote, and that they had better start cooperating. Tomorrow, of course, Secretary of State Powell will condemn Iraq at the United Nations. And in the midst of all this, U.S. intelligence is apparently picking up signs that al-Qaeda might be readying another strike here. Joining us now from Philadelphia is Evan Coleman, a terrorism analyst with the Investigative Project, an independent think tank. Any specifics on this, Mr. Coleman?
Well, I mean, the intelligence is real and it's out there. Basically what we've determined since the end of the campaign in Afghanistan is that a number of key terrorist leaders that belong to al-Qaeda, that are loyal to al-Qaeda, managed to escape, and not just Osama bin Laden. There are men like his number 2 deputy, Ayman al-Zawahiri, a man who's been involved with terrorism and jihad since 1977. And men like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who claimed to have been involved in every terrorist act from the 1993 World Trade Center to September 11th suicide hijackings. So in reality, what we see today is, in fact, that the al-Qaeda terrorist network is still very much vibrant and alive. And now that the leadership is beginning to reassert control over the organization, we're seeing an increased emphasis on attacking targets within the U.S. homeland.
All right, but look, that's all general, you know? I mean, we've had now in the last year and a half a lot of warnings, a lot of speculation and all of this stuff.
We're starting to see the early signs of something actually materializing right now.
All right, all right, that's fine, but give the audience, because they don't know what you know, and I don't either. When you say you're starting to see the early signs, what are the early signs?
One of the first signs was the discovery of the cell in London, a cell of North African it's a sleeper cell essentially, would-be terrorists that were preparing to use ricin, a mass poison, on large groups of people in an attempt to create mass hysteria. Now, mirrored by that, we also saw then, after the arrest of the ricin cell, we saw the co-arrest of about 5 other cells spread out throughout Europe, attempting to use chemical, biological, and radiological units on European countries. Then we saw the arrest of another North African sleeper cell, and this is the key cell, because this cell was arrested in Canada. A guy named Mohammed Harkat, who basically CSIS, the Canadian Intelligence Service, believes is a senior member of the al-Qaeda organization. And the fear is that he was trying to spread those same North African sleeper cells into North America and into the United States.
All right, so we've had a lot of arrests made. The ricin situation now, some believe, emanated from Baghdad, with the al-Qaeda guy who escaped Afghanistan and got his leg amputated in Baghdad and then kind of segued on up to northern France. Now, do you believe that story? What was the guy's name? Zahawi?
Abu Musab al-Zarqawi.
Zarqawi. Now, do you believe that story, that he had his leg amputated in Baghdad?
No, I believe he may have gotten medical treatment in Baghdad. However, some of those reports have indicated that he had plastic surgery while there.
Oh, well, let's stop, though. No, if this guy Zarqawi got injured in Afghanistan, had his leg treated in Baghdad, that's an al-Qaeda link right there, is it not?
Well, unfortunately, the same thing goes, though, for Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and many other countries spread throughout the Middle East that we're closely allied with.
A little bit different, though. Anybody into Baghdad, the government knows about it, particularly a guy of this note. You can't say the secret police wouldn't know about it.
I would say the same thing applies to Saudi Arabia, though, where you have a police state as well, and where you have a very efficient
But I think that's
police.
a diversionary tactic, with all due respect, Mr. Coleman. You know we respect you. If this guy is Zarqawi, and you believe that he did get treated in Baghdad?
I believe he probably did.
All right, well, there's your link to al-Qaeda right there. So how deeply involved in the ricin situation was this guy?
I don't believe he was very deeply involved. The links so far suggest that he took ricin from northern Iraq, from an al-Qaeda group in northern Iraq, and secretly brought it to Europe. In fact, the reality of that situation is that they could have probably gotten the ricin a lot easier than having smuggled it from northern Iraq. It's two different terrorist networks being confused.
All right, we're hearing
with each other.
something like he might have got the cookbook in Iraq and brought it up, and then they were able to make it in Britain.
That sounds a little bit more
But even
likely.
if that's true, there's the smoking gun that Powell needs tomorrow. I don't know if it's true. You seem to think there's some credibility here.
Well, the other problem is this: is that the group in northern Iraq that Abu Musab got this expertise from, supposedly anyway, Ansar al-Islam. There's no indication that Ansar al-Islam is allied with the Iraqi government. In fact, except for one small piece of intelligence, everything else seems to be pointing in the other direction. So the idea that all of this was taking place with the knowledge of the Iraqi government or the say-so of the Iraqi government is all hearsay, is all speculation.
But it's hearsay that we may be attacked by al-Qaeda, too. I mean, there are indications that they're trying to do stuff, but at this point
there's
it's
more intelligence that al-Qaeda is attempting to strike the U.S. at its homeland than there are links between Iraq and al-Qaeda.
All right, Mr. Coleman, thanks very much. Very provocative, as always. In a moment, updates on Lacey Peterson and little Jacob. And then later on, Michael Jackson admits to sleeping with young boys. What should society do with this guy? Right back.
This program is brought to you by Morgan Stanley. One passion, one mission, one principle, one client at a time.
It was not my dream to realize this day. The day a father watched his daughter start at Juilliard. But I embraced that dream with unwavering attention and made it my own, because that was the dream of my client. And that's what I do at Morgan Stanley. One client at a time.
Wake up, Mr. Van Winkle. It's not 1972. I'm talking about the new ringy-dingy.
A new ringy-dingy?
Don't make me tell you again. Online meetings from WebEx. They're efficient, effortless, and germ-free.
How did you get in there?
Look at these travel costs. Lost luggage, lost time, lost revenues. You'd make a lot more cabbage using WebEx. Good luck explaining your gross inefficiencies to the stockholders. Isn't it winky?
Demo online meetings from WebEx at webex.com.
All right, Wildcats, listen up. Now, while Dave's dad here's away, we're going to be short a third base coach. Do any of your dads have any experience? Yeah.
My dad owns Nike. Coach! There's my dad.
Hey, guys. Jelly bean?
Ownership. It's for everybody at Ameritrade. Everything you need to trade, from real-time streaming quotes to 24/7 client services, all for $10.99. Every online equity trade, no matter how many shares you buy.
Wildcats.
Join the thousands who switch to Ameritrade every month. Ameritrade, what's your share? Open an account today at Ameritrade.com and get 25 commission-free internet equity trades. And you could be trading the same day you apply.
We really searched the globe to bring unique and exciting things to Interior Motives. Top names such as Bernhardt, Marge Carson, Tommy Bahama, lamps, chandeliers, unbelievable art, fabulous floral designs, created especially for you.
Interior Motives invites you to their Bernhardt sale. Receive 35% savings on all Bernhardt upholstery and case goods. Now through February 18th at Interior Motives, Park 217 in Tigard.
After too many back-to-back disappointments, where do you go for hope?
Following a long night, when despair takes its toll, God gives new hope for a new day.
We've begun a new church in Sherwood, First Light Community, the Sherwood Foursquare Church.
We envision Jesus Christ creating a community committed to first love and second chances.
We'll feature outstanding ministry to youth and children.
Morning may last for a night, but joy comes in the morning. First Light Community, new hope for a new day.
In the Factor follow-up segment tonight, there's new information on 3 high-profile criminal cases: Lacey Peterson, Little Jacob, and Elizabeth Smart. Joining us now from San Francisco is our go-to guy in these matters, Mark Klass. Let's start with the Lacey Peterson case. Apparently, there are reports that the husband, Scott Peterson, was trying to sell the house and Miss Peterson's car. Validity to that?
Yeah, there is. There's validity to the fact that he got rid of the car, traded it in on a new truck for himself, and in fact, the rumor is that he has contacted a real estate agent about selling the house. Now, the thing that's of concern about this is that it's so inappropriate that this guy would be making these kind of moves when everybody else involved in the case and everybody that I know that's been in these situations is absolutely paralyzed in fear at this point. Remember, she has been missing for less than 6 weeks. Her baby's not even due, and he's unloading her material possessions and apparently changing his life.
All right, now, we know for a fact he sold her car. Do we know that for a fact?
As I understand it, yes, sir.
All right, because I'm trying to get, the confirmation on this, and Peterson himself won't say anything. All right,
no.
we believe that he sold a car for a Dodge pickup truck. She had a Range Rover SUV. And then the other thing we haven't confirmed at all, though, we don't know about the house situation. It's off the market now. But as you pointed out, if he was concerned about his wife coming back, why would he sell a car?
Well, so first of all, go ahead.
Jonathan Jacob, little baby Jacob, who was abandoned in the store. A judge now has given custody of this baby, this 4-year-old, to the natural father who lives, I guess, in Newark, California, correct?
That's exactly right, and Newark is very close to me. I think that it's a very good sign that they located this man and that baby Jacob ran into his arms when they were reunited. However, we have to remember that he's been through a very traumatic time. Reunification is nothing that can be taken lightly, and there has to be an incredible monitoring and evaluation of this whole process, because we can't forget little Rillia Wilson and what happens when we forget to monitor and evaluate these children.
Who will do that monitoring? The state of California, I guess, will have to take it over from the state of Utah, right?
I would believe so, yes, sir. As long as the social services agencies are involved, though, and do their duty, everything should be fine.
Yeah, I hope so. And I applaud the state of Utah for taking this action quickly and trying to get some stability into the little boy's life, because we have been very critical of social services throughout the United States. But I think Utah here is doing the right thing.
You know something, though, Bill? I think, to their defense, that 50% of the people are going to think they're wrong regardless of whatever decision.
Sure. I'm just making my analysis of the fact that the kid needs some stability. You get him to the natural father, hopefully the father is responsible. But as you said, it has to be monitored, and we're going to monitor it, so we hope the California authorities do as well. Finally, Elizabeth Smart, this looks like desperation to me, right?
Well, this whole business, apparently Ed and Lois Smart have put out a picture, a composite of some other itinerant fellow that worked on their house at some point over the course of the last year, and he's the latest in a string of itinerant suspects in this case. Also recently, on 48 Hours, in an appalling piece of investigative reporting, they brought up the specter of ransom for the very first time, which I understand put the Utah FBI office in a state of turmoil for some period of time, since that had never been raised before. But I think that the thing that is really concerning me about this is that this story continually changes in Utah, and everybody that they've looked at as a suspect so far has been some homeless guy, some drug addict, some guy who is not involved in the faith. And I quite frankly think they should be looking a lot closer to home.
Well, look, I think it's the guy who died in prison who did it.
I don't think that at all.
No, you don't think he did it? Because
No.
I'll tell you why. He took that long trip with his van out into the desert that was unexplained, came back, tried to tidy it up. I mean, that's never really been explained.
You know, that's based on the testimony of one man, and he has been involved in other things that are rather inexplicable as well. He's pointed out other people that have never been near him as having been near him and threatened him.
So you still think it's close to home, huh?
Oh, I do think it's close to
Really?
home, and I think thus far the most credible person that's been involved in this case and is close to it is Angela Risi.
All right, we'll keep it up. Thank you very much, Mr. Class. We appreciate it. Plenty more ahead as The Factor moves along this evening. A Factor exclusive. The controversial guy who was selected and then forced to resign for the President's AIDS Commission will be here. We hope you stay tuned.
Winds are kicking up and the temperature's dropping. Folks, it's nasty out there. If you don't have to be out on the road, don't.
The 2003 Jaguar X-Type. The only car in its class with permanent all-wheel drive. Standard. The road is at your mercy.
I used to get so many financial statements each month. Bank statements, stocks, 401ks.
Yeah.
Too much.
And now?
I've got one team of Merrill Lynch financial advisors working beyond stocks.
For instance?
Investments, mortgages, even cash management. One strong perspective. So I can relax. Which isn't easy for me.
Introducing Total Merrill. We see your financial life in total.
To go deep undercover, your words better be smooth.
We showed you what we got. We in and we out.
Your luck better be right. And your partner better be close.
He's a cop. I want his head.
Everybody get down on the ground now!
I'm gonna kill you, man.
I really hate these guys. I really hate your driving.
What's the matter with you?
Got beat up by a girl.
From the director of Charlie's Angels. Fast Lane, all new this week on Fox.
The game is played beyond the field. In February, Fox Sports World will introduce you to a new team. The premiere of a new drama based on the lives of professional soccer players, the people who surround them, and the lengths they go to succeed. Dream Team, exclusively on Fox Sports World. Tonight, from bioterrorism to chemical warfare, keeping America safe, guest Tommy Thompson outlines the president's sweeping new budget on Your World with Neil Cavuto. Wednesday, Colin Powell addresses the UN. His message, Saddam must disarm. As pressure intensifies, will new and shocking intelligence concerning Saddam's deadly arsenal finally convince the Security Council it's time to act against Iran? We have the latest, plus insight and analysis on the political and military fallout. Stay with the Fox News Channel for live up-to-the-minute coverage.
In the personal story segment tonight, we were surprised to find out that an American who lost his father in the World Trade Center attack had signed an anti-war advertisement that accused the USA itself of terrorism. The offending passage read, "We too watch with shock the horrific events of September 11th. We too mourned thousands of innocent dead and shook our heads at the terrible scenes of carnage, even as we recalled similar scenes in Baghdad, Panama City, and a generation ago, Vietnam." With us now is Jeremy Glick, whose father Barry was a Port Authority worker at the Trade Center. Mr. Glick is a co-author of the book, Another World is Possible. I was surprised you signed this. You were the only one of all the families who lost
Well, that's actually
people.
not true.
Who signed the advertisement?
Peaceful Tomorrows represents 9/11 families who also were involved. I'm not sure.
Hold, Jerry. You were the only one who signed this advertisement.
As an individual,
yes,
perhaps.
as put their name, you were the only one. I was surprised. And the reason I was surprised is that this ad equates the United States with the terrorists, and I was offended by that.
Well, I remember earlier you said it was a moral equivalency, and it's actually a material equivalency. And just to back up for a second about your surprise, I'm actually shocked that you're surprised. If you think about it, our current president, who I feel, and many feel, is in his position illegitimately by neglecting the voices of Afro-Americans and a Florida coup, which actually somebody got impeached for during the Reconstruction period. Our current president now inherited a legacy from his father and inherited a political legacy that's responsible for training militarily, economically, and situating geopolitically the parties involved in the alleged assassination and murder of my father and countless of thousands of others. So I don't see why it's so surprising for you to think that I would come back and want to support.
It is surprising, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's surprising. You are mouthing a far left position that is a marginal position in the society, which you're entitled to. Right. You're entitled to it, all right? But you see. I'm sure your beliefs are sincere, but what upsets me is I don't think your father would be approving of this.
Well, actually, my father thought that Bush's presidency was illegitimate.
Maybe he did, but I don't think he'd be equating this country as a terrorist nation.
Well, I wasn't saying that it was necessarily like that.
You signed this and it absolutely said that.
6 months before the Soviet invasion in Afghanistan, starting in the Carter administration and continuing and escalating as Bush's father was head of the CIA, we recruited 100,000 radical mujahideen to combat a democratic government in Afghanistan, the Taraki government.
Look, I don't want to debate world politics.
Well, why not?
This is about number
politics.
One, I don't really care what you think.
Well, okay.
But
you do care because the reason why you care is because you evoke 9/11 to rationalize. Let me finish. You evoke 9/11 to rationalize everything from domestic plunder to imperialist aggression worldwide. You evoke sympathy with the 9/11 families.
That's a bunch of crap.
So
I've done more for the 9/11 families, by their own admission. I've done more for them than you will ever hope to do.
Okay.
So you keep your mouth shut when you sit me exploiting those people.
You're not representing
and I never represent you. You know why?
Why?
Because you have a warped view of this world and a warped view of this country.
Well, explain that. Let me give you an example.
No, I'm not going to debate this with you.
Well, let me give you an example of parallel experiences. On September 14th,
here's the record.
Okay.
All right? You didn't support the action against Afghanistan to remove the Taliban. You were against it.
Why would I want to brutalize and further punish the people in Afghanistan?
Who killed your father?
The people in Afghanistan didn't kill my father.
Sure they did. The Al-Qaeda people were trained there.
The Al-Qaeda people? What about the Afghanistan?
See, I'm more angry about it than you are.
So what about George Bush?
What about George Bush? He had nothing to do with it.
The director, senior, as director.
He had nothing to do with it.
So the people that trained 100,000 mujahideen who were extremists.
I hope your mom isn't watching this. I hope your mother is not watching this because you. That's it. I'm not going to say any more.
Okay.
In respect for your father.
September 14th. Do you want to know what I was doing?
Shut up.
Please don't tell me to shut up.
In respect for your father, who was a Port Authority worker, a fine American who got killed unnecessarily by barbarians.
By radical extremists trained by this government.
Respect
not
for
the
him.
People of America,
I'm not
the people, the ruling class, the small minority.
Cut his mic. I'm not going to dress you down anymore, out of respect for your father. We'll be back in a moment with more of the Factor.
We're done?
We're done.
Columbia's fallen heroes honored at a moving memorial ceremony. Hello, everyone. I'm Donna Fiducia. And our Rick Leventhal was at the Johnson Space Center, and he has more.
Their mission was almost complete, and we lost them so close to home. Somber words from President Bush at the memorial service for the Shuttle Columbia crew. The president also quoting Captain David Brown, one of the astronauts who died, saying the space program will go on. About 10,000 NASA employees, dignitaries, and family members filled the grassy plaza outside Mission Control at Johnson Space Center for the tearful and powerful service, which included the tolling of a Navy bell 7 times for each of the 7 Columbia crew members and a flyover by NASA T-38 jets in the missing man formation, with one peeling off and up into the blue sky. As for the investigation, the focus remains on the briefcase-sized piece of foam insulation weighing about 2.5 pounds that fell off an external fuel tank and hit Columbia's left wing during launch. It has happened before, but NASA now says this was the biggest piece to hit a shuttle. Engineers were convinced it would not be a problem. Now they're growing more certain that it was. NASA says it will figure out what went wrong first and then focus on the fix. In Houston, Rick Leventhal, Fox News.
And I'll be back with more news for you at the top of the hour. I'm Donna Fiducia. The O'Reilly Factor continues next right here on the Fox News Channel. Stay with us.
Starting a small business takes a burning entrepreneurial spirit, a singular bold vision, the courage to fight an endless uphill battle. But that's not all you need. Oh no.
We need some furniture.
Not to mention the tools to manage your cash flow. That's why you need the Visa business card, because Jules Seltzer Furniture, like many other places, doesn't accept any card from American Express.
I love these chairs.
Visa Business, it's everywhere you want to be. Get started at visa.com.
Mount Everest at 17,000 feet. Muscles twitch, nerves fray, engine roars. The awe-inspiring new 4Runner with advanced technologies like Hill Start Assist Control, Downhill Assist Control, Torsion Center Differential, and X-Rear Sport Suspension. You find the obstacles, we'll help you conquer them.
Was classified top secret. Then he discovered...
What do you know about the Pentagon's war study?
A deadly conspiracy.
We've been lied to. This is top secret. Is it stolen?
Now he'll risk everything.
I need the Washington Post
to reveal the truth.
Neutralize him.
Based on a true story. James Spader, Claire Forlani, Alan Arkin.
It's over. It's not over.
The Pentagon Papers, an FX original movie coming in March.
The storm is coming. Thunder, lightning, and metal. Now, racing's greatest drivers.
Oh, you believe that?
Compete on NASCAR's legendary track. The Daytona 500 returns this month, only on Fox.
You're watching the #1 program on cable news. Enter the No Spin Zone on the O'Reilly Factor, the most powerful name in news, Fox News Channel.
Thanks for staying with us. And Bill O'Reilly, I have to apologize. If I knew that guy, Jeremy Glick, was going to be like that, I never would have brought him in here. I feel bad for his family. I really do. In the Unresolved Problem segment tonight, public policy and AIDS. The Department of Health and Human Services, headed by Tommy Thompson, appoints 35 Americans to a presidential AIDS advisory council. Last year, Jerry Thacker received an appointment because he, his wife, and his 19-year-old daughter all have the HIV virus gotten through blood transfusions. But Mr. Thacker's selection proved to be extremely controversial because of his views on homosexuality, and the brouhaha caused him to resign before he was actually sworn in. Jerry Thacker joins us now from Philadelphia. All right, now, everybody backed away from you at in the middle of this controversy, but they had to know that you were a conservative guy who brought to the table a different point of view on AIDS. Didn't they not know that before they appointed you?
Well, I thought they knew it, but obviously they didn't. What I also thought that PACHA was really about, the Presidential Advisory Council for HIV/AIDS, was about eliminating this virus as a scourge that it is for human beings in the earth. Apparently, it's something more than that and quite political.
All right, but look, President Bush was embarrassed. Tommy Thompson said, I didn't know about it. You are not a guy who deals in subterfuge, Mr. Thacker. I mean, you're on the record as saying what? Why don't you define your position for us right now on the AIDS situation?
Well, having 3 people in our family with HIV/AIDS and having seen my 16-year-old son die of pneumococcal meningitis in just 30 hours, Thanksgiving 1995, this to me is a very important issue. I see people all over the world dying of this. I was in Uganda back last summer, and of course, Africa has a tremendous problem with this disease, and it's not homosexual, it's heterosexual. The true enemy here is the virus itself, and the world needs to come to grips with it, because I believe in the future it will not only destroy the
All right, but that sounds like a very level-headed position that wouldn't get anybody mad. I mean, but you have made some comments about homosexuals. You obviously don't approve of the lifestyle, and I mean, is that what caused your demise here?
Well, I am a person of faith. There's no question about that. And most faith traditions and those who believe the Bible believe that homosexuality is not the optimal lifestyle. I believe that what happened here was the radical gay group who has the ear of the press created a story with some half-truths and innuendo in it, and it got picked up by all of the major media and became accomplished fact when indeed it wasn't.
That's true. I mean, look, we saw what happened to Dr. Laura. Although she didn't help her cause. Now, are you, Dr. Laura, are you coming in and saying, look, this disease is being, in the United States, is really the fault of any one group, homosexuals or otherwise? Are you saying that?
Well, not really. This disease is across all spectrums of our society.
All right, so you're not blaming the homosexual community for AIDS?
No, HIV/AIDS is something that is a virus. It doesn't think, it doesn't have discussions like we're having now. It's just a silly virus that goes from one person to the other when bodily fluids are exchanged.
But you know that there are a lot of
present.
people who say, look, if the gays weren't around, we wouldn't have the problem in the United States because they're the primary carriers of this, and IV drug users.
Well, there's no question that some of the practices that homosexual men especially have engaged in will increase their risk of this disease. But my position on this is very simply, if someone has this disease, they've been given a death diagnosis, and they need to recognize that there is a 100% mortality rate among human beings on this earth, and what's going to happen after that? After
all right,
they
so
die,
you're
what's
not
the
on
eternal side
you're
of
not
this?
on any kind of crusade to do anything to homosexuals at all in any policy matters.
No, I've spoken to over 500,000 people since we went public with our situation in 1993, and I've never had a bad experience with a homosexual individual in my meetings.
Okay. You don't say they're going to hell. You don't say they're being sinful in your public pronouncements.
Well, I believe that the Bible says that they're being sinful,
but that's
and if I read from the Bible, that's it.
That's a
yes,
private
for the most
thing.
part.
You can't bring the Bible into public policy. Once you do that, you're out, because we're not a nation that legislates based upon theology or scripture. You know that.
Yes. I also know that 8,500 people are dying of this disease every day around the world. That's twice the number that were killed in the World Trade Center in the terrorist act that occurred back on 9/11. I also know that there are 43 million people infected right now, and that this disease needs to be stopped. I also know that people, all of us, are going to die, and that what happens after we die is a matter of spiritual discernment and spiritual question.
And that's fine for you to believe, but if you bring that to the public policy table in America, you're not going to be, you're obviously not going to be received well. Once you get into your spiritual beliefs as far as vis-a-vis public policy is concerned, as an American, you have it all day long. You can say what you want. But once you get on a presidential advisory panel and you're going to go, we're all going to die and then we got to meet our maker, they're all going to go out of here. You know that.
Well, I wouldn't do that. In fact, the council purportedly is about eliminating this virus and the exchange of this virus between human beings.
How would you do that, sir? What would you tell the president? Say you had the president's ear right now. What would your #1 recommendation be?
Well, my first recommendation would be to get rid of the silly nonsense policy that we have that has given us the safer sex and condoms routine. I believe that young people should be challenged to do the best that they can possibly do, to be the best that they can possibly be. And for me, that would mean waiting for sex until marriage and finding someone who's done the same. In addition to HIV/AIDS, there are 20 other STDs out there, and while many of them won't kill you, they'll definitely make life
interesting. All right, so you would go for a policy of abstaining from sex until you were married. Again, I mean, I don't mind a policy, that's fine, but you're going to run into a lot of heat on that. Although I don't know why. Your voice should be heard along with the libertarians and the secularists. So I'm not offended. I wouldn't have thrown you off the panel for saying that. I want to ask you one personal question. We only have you for a minute more. I mean, this is just a terrible tragedy. Particularly your wife and daughter. I mean, the men always should take should take what comes and protect children particularly. Have you been able to cope with it? I mean, is it religion that gets you through it?
Well, we have a strong faith in Jesus Christ. There's no question about that, and I believe it's God's grace that gets us through each day. We also believe that there's nothing that can touch us except as it passes through God's hands first. And perhaps there are some people that we've talked to who have changed their behavior since this is now a behavioral disease and have avoided HIV because of that change in behavior.
Well, hopefully so. And your 19-year-old daughter, is she as strong as you are?
She's doing very well. She has a definite backbone about her, and she is in college right now and has challenged a few of her professors on some of their liberal stances.
All right. Well, Mr. Thacker, I'm glad you came on because I want to get a look at you and hear you, and you make sense to me, and I think your point of view should be heard by everybody, and we're happy that we could deliver it to the folks here on The Factor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And we'll be right back with the latest nonsense from Michael Jackson. But there is a serious question here. Is this guy dangerous to children? In a moment. The news of the day in a way that's always fair. It's always balanced. Thanks for making Fox News Channel the most watched, most trusted name in news.
You have a client meeting, a soccer game, a vet appointment, and now a gift to send. You've got enough to do. Let your neighborhood mailbox, etc. do the packing and shipping for you. There's help in here, real help.
At BASF, we don't make the snowboard, we make it stronger. We don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
Log on to foxnews.com and click on our Fox News channel, Hotel Finder. Book your hotel room online at over 35,000 hotels across the country. Fast and convenient. Get the best rates and view all the hotel amenities. Plus, find the hotels that carry fair and balanced news, the Fox News channel. Wherever you travel from coast to coast, Fox News Channel Hotel Finder, now on foxnews.com.
The Golden Crown Restaurant is a landmark in Beaverton, but it's what's inside that makes us unique. We offer a friendly atmosphere that's perfect for your entire family. There's something for everyone on the menu, from our own house medallion beef to Beaverton's best pan-fried shrimp in the shell. And Golden Crown is just as good at home. Takeout orders are always welcome. The Golden Crown also offers a bar with a big screen and a banquet room that serves up to 80 people. The Golden Crown Restaurant. It's all under the dome on Beaverton-Hillsdale Highway in Beaverton.
What's the most important number when you buy a new car or truck?
It's not always the horsepower.
Or not even the gas mileage.
The one number you'll remember every month is the payment.
Well, thanks to special financing and clearance pricing here at Newburgh Ford, you can now pick a new Ranger or Focus for just $179 per month.
New Explorers and full-size F-Series trucks are just $299 a month.
You could trade in your present vehicle and actually lower your payments.
So see us today at Newburgh Ford and Mercury.
We just work harder for you.
Hi, I'm Rich Lerner at the Golf Channel, here to tell you that the Golf Channel is now in full swing in Portland on AT&T Broadband Channel 33. Tune in for the latest golf news. Improve your swing with lessons from the world's best instructors and catch live tournament action from every professional tour, because no one plays golf like the Golf Channel on AT&T Broadband Channel 33.
In the Back of the Book segment tonight, I must tell you that if it were up to me, Michael Jackson would get no coverage ever. He's a disturbed individual, in my opinion, but his interest in children makes him a person who must be watched. Rumored to be in money trouble because of his lavish spending, Jackson agreed to an interview in England. ABC News bought that interview, and published reports put the price at, ready, $5 million. In the body of the interview, Jackson admits to sleeping with young boys, and you'll remember he paid a boy millions to settle allegations of sexual abuse. With us now is Dr. Michael Nugatelli, the executive director of SLS Health in Brewster, New York, which has a celebrity counseling division. You see this guy, Jackson, and he obviously hasn't learned his lesson. He admits, now he doesn't admit sexual contact. He says that he sleeps with little boys, young boys, in a loving way with their parents' permission. Now, there are enough idiot parents out there, so it probably happens. Is this guy dangerous, in your opinion?
I think there's a potential that he's dangerous. Sure. I mean, one of the things that you have to look at, the question is not necessarily whether or not he's having sex with the children or not. I mean, my belief is, given the fact that in 1993 we had a multi-million-dollar lawsuit that was settled out of court, alleging sexual abuse. What we have are children that are sleeping with an adult male.
Right.
So the issue isn't so much necessarily sexuality. It has to do with, number one, as you mentioned, which I perfectly agree, the fact that the parents would even give consent for a child to be sleeping with Michael
parents will do anything
Jackson.
for money, and that's what this is all about, because the kids who hang around with Jackson get lavish presents lavished on them, their parents get money and all of that. I mean, we know the game. But is there a difference between a pedophile, all right, and some guy who's just arrested development, immature, like this guy is, you know, is there a difference?
Well, there's certainly a difference. I mean, but it's hard to know given the fact that, I mean, once again, at SLS, what we do is anytime we're working with, whether it's a celebrity or a child that's been abused or there's either an allegation of abuse, we run them through a lot of psychometric testing. I mean, what I don't have here is any data about Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, you can't tell
on.
whether this guy, you know, we suspect that he's a pedophile, but we don't know. But obviously, it's what he's doing is unhealthy emotionally. I mean, I think we can all agree on that, correct?
Consensually agreed. It is unhealthy what he's doing. He needs to cease and desist, and something needs to be done about that. But once again, when you're dealing with celebrities, you're dealing with individuals that experience high power, high privilege, and they don't suffer consequences for their behavior. And here we have case in point. We have a celebrity who is able to come out on TV in front of millions of people and admit that he sleeps with children. Now, the question is, Mr. O'Reilly, what consequences will he suffer from that?
He probably will just become more despised, because Americans despise him, generally speaking. He's got a core audience that still, you know, is interested, but most people have just said, forget it. I mean, his album's bombed now. He's not really, so he'll get backed into a little bit of a corner. The authorities need testimony. You know, they need guys to come in and swear out a complaint, and he did that and the other. Whether they're going to get that, I don't know. When you see a celebrity and you just put your finger on it, there are no consequences. For many wealthy people in the society, they kind of skirt the edge. That's what this guy does. He skirts the edge. All right, and he's got enough money to buy himself out. Can you get through to these people? Like, if you analyze Jackson up in your place in Brewster, New York, do you think you can get through to this guy? Or is he just damaged beyond repair?
Well, once again, I mean, not to be an armchair psychologist, but to be able to look about his development, his upbringing. This is a gentleman who grew up from child on developmentally. He got involved in the music industry. So he was popular from jump. Most celebrities come from meager upbringings, so we have a different profile here with Mr. Jackson. But what it comes down to, whether his past was abusive or not, the reality remains is that we're seeing a situation here where he is verbally admitting sleeping with children. So he needs to take responsibility that his past has nothing to do with.
He's not going to. It's because he rationalizes it and he thinks he's doing these kids good. And a lot of pedophiles say that.
Most
you know,
certainly.
the Catholic priests and a lot of the testimony, I was just giving them love. They were getting closer to Jesus because these guys are delusional.
Most certainly.
And they can't control their compulsions. All right? So this guy, sooner or later, is going to get taken down. But you didn't answer the question in the sense that, can you, with any confidence, we got 30 seconds left, get through to people like this? Is it possible? Or is he just done?
It's possible, but it's a long shot.
Okay, because they don't really want to get help, do they?
Well, because they're so dissociated from reality and their belief that they are the best of the best, the creme de la creme. Psychologists such as myself or a nationally recognized facility, how are we going to help when they are...
You can't cut through that delusion of grandeur.
Most certainly.
All right, Doctor, thanks very much. We appreciate your expertise. Next, we will wrap things up with the most ridiculous item of the day, some of your mail.
Be as easy as pushing a button. But with e-file from the IRS, your taxes can be. It's the fastest, surest way to get your taxes behind you. So ask your tax preparer or visit us on the web.
Newest luxury SUV, the 302 horsepower Aviator, a smaller, spirited offspring of Navigator. There are those who travel and those who travel well.
For fair and balanced news, you turn to Fox News Channel. But if you're on the road, how do you keep up with your favorite Fox News shows? I've got the answer. Check into foxnews.com and click on our hotel finder. The easiest way for you to book your hotel room online and find the hotels that carry Fox News Channel. Get the best rates and view all the hotel's information and amenities. If you like to hit the gym early or sit down to dinner late, you'll find exactly what you're looking for. Finding great accommodations is quick and easy. It's so simple. First, go to foxnews.com, then click on our hotel finder. Now pick your city, then select your dates, and check out the best rates on thousands of hotels from coast to coast. Confirm your reservation, and you're booked. It's that simple. It's the easiest way to reserve the very best. Fox News Channel Hotel Finder, now on foxnews.com.
As the investigation into the Columbia shuttle disaster continues, we have up-to-the-minute reports and breaking news as events unfold. For complete coverage, stay with the Fox News Channel. Wednesday, Colin Powell addresses the UN. His message, Saddam must disarm. As pressure intensifies, will new and shocking intelligence concerning Saddam's deadly arsenal finally convince the Security Council it's time to act against Iraq? We have the latest, plus insight and analysis on the political and military fallout. Stay with the Fox News Channel for live up-to-the-minute coverage.
Time now for the most ridiculous item of the day. Your humble correspondent, me, is featured in the March issue of Vanity Fair magazine. Ben Affleck is on the cover. I'm on the back page, which is not at all ridiculous since, as you know, I am a humble correspondent. And Affleck is, well, a friend of J-Lo, whom I don't know and probably never will. Anyway, you might want to check it out. It is amusing. Finally, tonight, the Mail. Some fury over our report on safety problems within NASA. David Smith, Houston, Texas. Bill, here's a message for you. Lay off Dan Golden and other NASA executives. They don't have to answer to you. Yes, they do, Mr. Smith, and they should answer to you, too, and all the families of the astronauts. We pay their salary, and for many years we did that, so they answer to us. Herb Green, East Islip, New York. I am a former NASA employee, and the consensus among the NASA folks I talk with is that Golden was a hatchet man. Steve Baird, Palm Springs, California. I work with Golden, and he is the farthest thing from a bureaucrat. Mr. Golden will speak out at the appropriate time. Dave Richardson, San Diego. When I heard your report on the firings of the NASA safety experts, I wasn't surprised, Bill. Engineers who speak up about touchy issues are often threatened with layoff or transfer. Eileen Weiss, Glenville, New York. Bill, I could not watch your report because I felt that you were forcing me to put the astronaut's desk behind me, and I wasn't ready. About the man who shot a burglar who had broken into his home with an unlicensed pistol and is being prosecuted for a gun crime now. Charles Knapp, Missouri City, Texas. Thank God I live down here and not in Brooklyn. Texas allows citizens to have guns in their homes without a license. Jeremy Kohler, Los Angeles. Ronald Dixon broke the law. For our legal system to work, all crimes must be prosecuted. Stephen Gray, South Portland, Maine. What can we do to help Mr. Dixon? Nothing right now, Mr. Gray. We feel the DA should drop this case because of Dixon's intent to get a gun license. We will let you know what happens. About the attempted sponsor boycott against Rush Limbaugh by an anti-war group. Lise, Rousseau, Lafayette, Colorado. Mr. O'Reilly, imagine my confusion as I watch you criticize the protester for organizing the Limbaugh boycott. Last August, I heard you tacitly call for boycott against Pepsi for hiring Ludacris. There is a lack of consistency in your rhetoric. No, there isn't, Mr. Rousseau. Miss Rousseau. First of all, I never do anything tacitly. I do things directly. I simply said I wasn't going to drink Pepsi while that guy was on a payroll. No boycott was ever mentioned by me. Stuart Dale Spencer, San Marcos, Texas. I watch The Factor, listen to Rush, and listen to NPR. So I am an expert witness, and you are right, Bill. There is plenty of liberal opinion out there, but they don't like hearing the other side. Bill Handorf, Oklahoma City. Bill, after one of your tirades against George Clooney, you said you don't wish him ill. Of course you do. No, I don't, Mr. Handorf. How about that website? www.foxnews.com/O'Reilly. Factor gear, all kinds of great stuff. Signed books for Valentine's Day. This is probably the last chance. If you want that, you got to go right in now, and I'll sign them and get them back to you fast. We got the aforementioned question about whether we did this NASA report too quickly or not. And we want to get your feedback. You can do that by going on our website and then clicking on BillO'Reilly.com. We have a link there. And please email us with some pithy comments, O'Reilly@FoxNews.com, O'Reilly@FoxNews.com. Name and town, name and town, name and town if you wish to. opine. That is it for us today. Thank you for watching The Factor. Remember the Radio Factor, please, on Westwood 1, coast to coast each weekday. Hannity and Combs next, Bill Bennett. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We hope to see you again next time. And remember, the spin stops right here.
Next on Special Report, Saddam Hussein says he has no weapons of mass destruction and no ties to al-Qaeda. Colin Powell, arriving in New York for his UN speech tomorrow, responds by saying, prove it. And Defense Secretary Rumsfeld decries the idea that Powell must provide a smoking gun in his speech tomorrow. President Bush leads a memorial service for the Columbia 7 astronauts.